And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. As a result of a more than $400 million settlement, new regulations will change how people work with their realtor in the future. Home buyers will now be required to sign agreements specifying how much their agents will be paid. Previously, the seller would pay both agents. Now buyers must negotiate commissions with agents directly before they can be shown a home. Here to talk about this big change, real estate broker Jay Bradley and attorney Hamilton Rucker. Glad to have you both here on The Factor Uncensored. So Hamilton, take us back. What happened that prompted this that we're seeing now in the American real estate market?
Well, the Department of Justice and the Federal Trade Commission have been trying for over 80 years to make changes to commission structures for realtors. Back in October of 2023, a Missouri jury awarded $1.8 billion against realtors, the National Association of Realtors, based on realtors steering and inflating commissions.
And so for those who are trying to get to the bottom line, what were the realtors accused of doing back then?
The realtors were actually accused of anti-competitive behavior that was pretty much lifting up commission rates and not giving sellers or buyers the opportunity to actually negotiate those 5 to 6% commission rates.
Okay, now there will be a change August 18th, I think?
August 17th.
17th.
The changes have already started rolling out in a lot of different jurisdictions. Here in Houston, they're already starting, and the new agreements are rolling out for the realtors to be able to sign with their clients.
And so when people go into the home buying market, what will be their deficiency now if they don't have the realtor on their side?
I think this has really been a great opportunity for consumers. The home buyer is now getting the opportunity for choice. And by being able to have that choice, they're able to negotiate a better position. They're no longer forced with having to pay a 5 or 6% commission. They can go seek out a real estate attorney in order to purchase a home rather than even hiring a realtor at 2.5 to 3%.
Would a real estate attorney be more expensive than that 5 or 6%, though?
That's actually a misconception. Generally, for flat fees, real estate attorneys are far cheaper than a realtor who's charging a 2.5 or 3%. For instance, the average home price in Houston is $400,000. A 3% commission would be $12,000. My office and a lot of other real estate attorneys charge far less than that, in the range of about $4,000 to $5,000. So typically, you'll find real estate attorneys will charge less than 1% rather than a 3% from a realtor.
All right, Jay, you're here as a real estate agent. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, you know what? It's and I appreciate your point of view. I've been a real estate broker, an agent for 24 years in Houston. As a member of the board of directors for the state of Texas for realtors, the agreements have always, there's never been a standard commission, ever. I've been in real estate the entire time.
So when we hear about this arbitrary 6%,
yeah,
that's not necessarily true for every deal.
It's every deal is negotiable. For example, if I go to my attorney, he may charge me 33 1/3. I may negotiate that, but a lot of times attorneys are going to charge 33 1/3. You may hear a 6%, but there's never been a fixed commission ever in the entire time that and it's always been negotiable.
And I'll ask you this though, Jay, did the consumer know that?
The consumer may know that. So our agreements basically have the information in there. There's always been a buyer's representation agreement. The difference is where the commission would come from. Now the consumer themselves is responsible for having a buyer's representation agreement. For the last 24 years, my office and myself have used buyer's representation agreements. It's one of the first things that we do when we go with a buyer.
In the last 20 seconds we have here, how will this hurt realtors, if at all?
I don't think that it'll hurt realtors. I think there's a space for, attorneys have always been able to help real estate clients as far as buyers. The thing is about competency. Who's going to know the neighborhood? Who's going to know the schools? who's going to know how to not only negotiate the contracts, but the actual purchase itself. That's what
and
realtors do.
will you guys know that? Because you won't. I mean, you haven't been in every neighborhood like the realtors.
I'll tell you this. I've been a realtor for 20 years and an attorney for 15 years.
Okay, you just ruined my question.
and I will say this. 72% of home buyers find their home on their own, yet 90% use a realtor.
And they probably do the research as well.
Yeah, there's also something called geographic competency. For example, I may work the west side of town. I might not know anything about Humble. And so are you finding whatever the representation is, whether it's an attorney or whether it's an agent, to make sure that they are competent in that area?
All right. We want to thank you guys.